it's Amanda here from Lolly Lulu Crafts, and today we are doing the final 2 pages in our Elegant Edges mini album. So we've got these last 2 pages to do and then one more video after that which will show putting the actual album together. So let's crack on with these last 2 pages. So I thought that it would be fun to make use of some dies and just sort of put some bits and pieces, kind of almost like that shabby chic look that I've kind of enjoyed doing lately, and I think it fits in with the rest of the album really well. So we're going to start off with the right hand side, so we're going to do that page first. So let's just grab all of this and put this out the way and just keep that page. Okay, so it's a really pretty little pattern, and I wanted to sort of bring, as I did before with all the pages, bring the colours from the previous page and this page all sort of intermingling, because you want the pair to work together as a pair. And since they are from all the paper pack, the colour tones really go well together. So what I've got is, first of all, a piece of paper from the pack that has got this lovely design on it, and excuse the dog barking in the background, that is not Daisy, it's one of the neighbour's dogs, so nothing I can do about that one, I'm afraid. Anyway, so we've got this lovely design here, and I've got a set of dies that are from Cricut Craft. These are Delectables Decal Edge Rectangles. So this Delectables range is a design by Cricut Craft but made by Spellbinders, so you get the same quality. They are exclusive to Cricut Craft and they are exclusive designs to Cricut Craft. And this particular one, as you can see, what they do to make sure that it's clear that they're the Cricut Craft version is they put them in this gorgeous sort of Cricut Craft. So I'm going to try putting this through on my lovely little Cuttlebug here. Now the thing is, I don't know whether it's going to work on this Cuttlebug yet because I don't have the C-plate, so I'm not sure if the thickness of these Delectable dies are the same as the Provocraft dies would be. If they are, then it will go through fine. If not, then I'm almost certainly going to need the C-plate, but we'll give it a go, and if it doesn't work then we'll use a different machine. Okay, so pull the little handle out and then we'll put these sides down and that grips it. Okay, so I need my A-plate, then our rubber mat that basically acts as a shim. Then we've got our first B-plate, and that goes down next. Then my paper and my die facing downwards in this instance, because obviously my paper's down there, so I'm just positioning that how I want it. And then my second B-plate, and then we're going to pop that through, hopefully. Yep, that seems to be going through okay. It's just whether it's cut. I would think it has, because it felt quite tight. Not too tight, but tight enough. So let's just pop these little wings up and move that out the way, and then we'll see if it's gone through okay or not. Oh yeah, look at that, perfect. So that's really nice. I don't want to emboss it or anything, so I'm just going to keep it like that, and you can see how pretty that is. That lovely decal edge, it's a really pretty design. So we'll pop that to one side. Okay, so here's our little square, and we're going to be putting that down on there, but what I wanted to do is take some of this cheesecloth and create like a little layer, a mat and layer to go underneath it, just kind of a rough kind of square. So we're just going to take that and cut along and then cut up, and then we'll see how that works. So I need to just shorten it a little bit across the side. Like that, and then that will go on there like so. So that just creates a nice little background for it. So I think we'll stick those pieces down first. So just taking my glue gel here and putting a blob just down in the middle here. We don't need to be too fussy because I don't want it to hold the whole lot down. I just want to blob it down and hold it in place. And then we're going to be able to put that down next on top, and then we're going to pop that down like so. And I'm just squishing out those little bobs of glue like that. So then I've got some little elements here. I've got this gorgeous, this came in one of the little accessory packs, and I think that would look really fun across here. But I've also got some bits of ribbon and velvet ribbon as well, which I want to pop across. Okay, so I'm going to pop this piece down first, I think, and I'm going to do that and I'm going to actually chop a piece off the edge of it. I'm going to take it off this side so that it's at the end that's not going to notice so much, and then we're going to pop it up against that edge piece there, and then we've got our ribbon to go across that as well. So again, I'm just going to use my glue gel to put these, and that's those bits put on. Then I want to put these flowers in place. And we've got a bit of, actually I've got a bit of this, I rather like that. I'm going to put a bit of that on as well, just a tiny bit. I'm going to pop it underneath this pink ribbon here. So just pull that up, pop that down in that wet glue, so that will hold it, and then we'll put the pink just on top. I think that just adds a little something to it. Okay, and then we're going to use our flowers here, and we're going to put these all down. There you go, so pop those down like that, and again I'm just going to use my glue gel to do that. So, and then I'm going to and just soften that bright blue by adding this other one just in the centre, and then to the centre of our flowers. Actually, before we do that, I'm just going to put behind our flowers, I've got these gorgeous stick pins, and I've got them, they've all got little pretty beads on the top, so we're just going to pop these down behind our flowers here, and that will just give us a little something there. Pretty. So that's that, and then in the centre of our flowers themselves we're just going to add some pretty little gems. Need some glue gel for that. It's supposed to be self-adhesive, but the stick had gone. There we go. So that's those put in there, and I think that looks really pretty. And I've got these gorgeous little stars gems, which I think look so pretty. So I'm just sticking it over my ribbon now. Just going to pull that one. Gosh, I need a pair of scissors for that. Okay, let's just pop those down there, and then I've got that extra one which I'll put in there. Let me just try and straighten it up a bit. There we go. Okay, so that's that page done. So now we're going to start on the opposite side. Okay, so here's our second page. So you can see it's a really pretty pattern. This one's quite a strong pattern, and I don't want to cover like all of it up obviously, but on the other hand we need to just soften it down a bit. So I've got this gorgeous little fairy that actually was in my scraps box, and I just think she's so pretty. She was a Spellbinders Die Delights one, and so I've got her. She was cut from Hunky Dory cardstock, just some plain, when I think you would have seen me do it actually. I think it was on the video where I was just showing you how these dies cut out. So we've got her. So we're going to start off from her as our sort of theme idea, so we're going for something sort of soft and also bringing in again that sort of vintage shabby chic feel that we'd gone on the opposite page. We want to bring that across here as well, so we're going to use our little doily, which is something that we would use on that sort of shabby chic feel quite frequently. So I'm just going to take some of this glue gel and just put a couple of blobs on the back there and then stick that down. So just only in the centre, like so. And then I've got, actually I want to put this piece just down the side here, because that brings that stripe in that we had from the previous page from the die that we did. So we're just going to take our other adhesive now. This is just our flat adhesive. I'm just going to pop that down there and just take that, and I should have put it on first, but not to worry. And then we're just going to put this down the edge here like that. Then just taking my scissors and take that end off. And then what I want is I want to put this in the middle here, because this is going to be our journaling panel. So I'm just going to take that again. I'm just going to use this. I'm just using up the last of my Scotch quick dry adhesive here, and I don't like this as much as my Cosmic Shimmer, but you know, you've got to use it up, I guess. So I'm going to pop that in the centre there, and that's going to cover up. I don't want that there. I just remembered. I want that to go in a minute, so I'm just going to pop this to one side because I've got a piece that I want to die cut first, and that is this gorgeous doily flourish from Tattered Lace even. And I've got this gorgeous green sheet that was in the paper pack. Okay, so that didn't quite cut out on the catalogue bag, so I had to run it through my Big Shot. Now that wouldn't be a problem normally, it's just because I didn't have the right plate, so it will cut on your catalogue bag. It just needed the C plate. So we've got most of that out. I'm not too worried about all of these little pieces because in the inside lane, as it were, because they're going to get covered up anyway, so I haven't got too fussy about that. Yeah, so that's just going to sit down on the centre here and just create a really pretty little effect. So we're going to take our glue gel again and just put a big blob in the centre and just put that down, and I'm immediately going to get my die cut here and just put some glue back on the back here, because we did this already if you remember. So we just get that like that, and then making sure it's the right way up. I'm going to pop that straight down into the middle, and I actually want to move that over because we're not going to see it otherwise. Like so. There. So that's that piece put down, and it's just popping out the side there and pretty. So that looks really nice. So now I've got my little fairy to put down, and I want to put her kind of here, I think. So again, just using my glue gel on the back. So just putting two blobs on the back, or a bit more, and then they're just spreading them out. We can't do too much because there's not a lot of space on the fairy to put anything. And then we're just going to pop her down like so onto our journaling tag there. So that's that there. I think she looks so pretty. Okay, so then I want to probably put a flower here with this little, I've got a covered brad here, which is so pretty, and all I've done is I've flattened them out on the back. So again, I'm just going to take my glue gel, blob on the back of my flower, pop that in there, then take my brad, do the same, a blob on the back of that, and then pop that in there. And we've got a lovely covered brad in the centre of our flower, but we haven't had to worry about putting it through. And it's got a gorgeous little butterfly on. So that's that done. Then just across the corner here, I want to use my Epiphany tool, and I've got the lovely pendant 25. So I'm going to use some of the paper that we've got here, and that's the same colour of the sheet on the opposite side. So we're going to do probably 3 of these from here. So we're just going to grab what you need is your tool, some paper, and your little epoxy bubbles. So we're going to take one of these. Once we've got the paper in the position that we want it to be in, I'm just thinking I want the purple more than the green, so I'm going to move that over. And I'm going to move it over this way because I want to have enough space. So then you just pop that in the little hole, your little epoxy you put in the holes, and then it sticks down onto the paper. You then close the lid and punch, and then usually you have to tip it upside down and punch again, I find, to actually get the thing to come out. And then we've got just created our own, let's try and do this, little button here, or epoxy sticker. So I'm going to do 3 of those so they go across there as little pendants. Okay, so there's our 3 little pendants. So using my glue gel, and then taking this one, now I want that, I think, just about here. Like so. I think that looks pretty good, and I'm just thinking that I would use these gems and put these down as if they are the rope. So let's just pop those across the top and see. Okay, so there's that done. I think that looks really pretty. And I think just to even things up, we'll put just a couple of gems just down here. There we go. So that's that down there. Okay, so that is it. That's that page done, and I'm happy with both pages now. I think that one looks really pretty. Really pleased with how that's turned out. So we've got those 2 that go together, and I think they look really, really nice. I'm really pleased with those. I like the way that it sort of balances over nicely. I'm just wondering, as I always do, whether I want to just add a couple of gems just up the top here. I've got the 2 gold and a blue one just up the top there. I think that looks really nice. Okay, so that is definitely it now. So this is our last 2 pages. So the next thing that we've got to do is actually just put the book together, the final part. So for now, I hope you've enjoyed making these 2 pages with me. I hope you like them. And I will see you again next time with the final part of putting this book together. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.